Let's go live now to our Sky News regular and former Labor Minister Stephen Conroy. A big day for diplomacy. Another Australian repatriated from incarceration abroad by the Albanese government, Stephen.
Yeah, look, it's good to see it resolved. It's good to see a guilty plea. It's good to see time served being taken into account. But it's good to see that we won't have to talk about this anymore.
You look at the view across the political spectrum too, though, and those who support Assange vehemently to those who think that he acted appallingly. Can I get your view on that? Because by the end, everyone had sort of reached the conclusion that enough's enough.
No, as I said, happy to see that the legal process has resulted in a guilty plea. Happy to see him have the time served in the UK taken into account, and happy to see him getting on a plane and coming here. So I think everyone is pleased that the resolution of this issue, which has been around a long time, and I hope that he will consider apologising to some people in Sweden.
How do you see Assange yourself, and how will this period be remembered? A saga of a decade and a half, Stephen Conroy.
Yeah, look, I mean, it's a decade and a half caused by his own behaviour. I mean, at any stage he could have submitted himself to the legal processes in Sweden, where he originally went on the run from. Then he was, locked himself in the Ecuador embassy. So again, if you want to talk about the length of this process, he's created this for himself. So it's good. I mean, clearly, I don't think his behaviour at any level in Sweden or in the original issues around the information that he published recklessly. So I'm clearly not a huge fan. But I am pleased that it's over, that we won't have to spend any time here. I'm sure he'll go on the victory circuit, but that doesn't take away from the fact that he pled guilty.
What do you say to the argument that this was essentially a journalist reporting information that was given to him and leaked to him?
I think journalism has checks and balances. What he did was to produce information that put potentially lives at risk, and therefore, reputable journalists don't do that. So I don't go along with the idea that he is some superhero of free speech. I think it was reckless, endangered lives, and I'm pleased that he's pled guilty to it, and I'm even more pleased I won't ever have to hopefully have a conversation about this issue anymore because it's been resolved.
Yes, it has been. It certainly has been. It looks like Stephen Smith, your former ministerial colleague, is on the plane with Assange to make sure he gets back and gets this resolved once and for all. But the Prime Minister down, the Albanese government has made its view known that enough was enough when it came to this, and the US ally has responded, Stephen, by the looks of it.
No, I think that aspect, for those who've advocated, they'll be very happy that from the Prime Minister to our ambassadors have done their jobs, and they've brokered a agreement where he pleads guilty. Time served is taken into account, and he's brought back to Australia. So I think it's a win-win for all concerned, and I think those who support Assange should be very grateful for the commitment of the Australian government and the Prime Minister downwards.
I haven't spoken to you yet since the coalition release of its nuclear policy. What do you make of it? What are the political implications, and are there risks for Labor here by just seeing this as a win for the government? What's your read on it?
Look, I think if Labor take the lazy approach of just thinking that people are naturally against it. You've already seen polls where people prefer renewables, but they're prepared to consider nuclear. That doesn't mean they're in favour of nuclear. Nuclear ranks, I think, way down here, and solar and wind were right up here in terms of what people actually want. So I think if Labor avoid being, knee-jerk, lazy, and just running only memes, and I've got no problem with the memes. But if they think that that wins the debate, it won't. What they've got to do is focus on the fact that, and I put forward a 10-year build of the national broadband network, a piece of infrastructure. I at least picked a technology. I put a cost on it. I said how long it would take. And the opposition at the time roundly criticised me. I mean, this bloke has come out with no technology, no actual amount of electricity into the grid calculation. I mean, the numbers are 4%. I mean, that's a pitifully small number, and they've already had to change the policy and go, oh, no, we'll put more than one small modular on the same site. I mean, it's been a moving feast. I mean, it's got no cost, it's got no technology detail, it's got no timing, and it's got no actual output of wattage into the system. And from the sound of it, it's pretty small. But what they are designing to do, and this is what Labor's got to absolutely emphasise, is this is about destroying confidence in investing in renewables, solar and wind, and hydrogen or any other of the potential renewables that are being talked about. So what this will do is it's a very unsubtle attempt to keep coal going through the next 20 years. And they'll be seen for what they are, just trying to wreck the transition to decarbonisation. All on the promise that they will deliver lower electricity prices by the year 2040. I mean, those are the issues that Labor needs to focus on, not the simple ones. As I said, I got no problem with the memes, but those are the substance of the issues that Labor has to prosecute.
Okay. Stephen Conroy, thanks. We'll talk to you soon.